already said. It's like differences without division, rivalry in fellowship. We love this country, and we have to borrow from the example of Mr. President. He's a Muslim. He's at home with all of us, Christian, Muslims, traditionalists. Nigeria is a huge country on the move, and under his direction, we know that we are going to reach the promised land. I know he inherited a very bad economy. We're out of it today. Our GDP is growing at 4.4%. It's a record, and what you have in our foreign reserve is also a record, from 0 to $42 billion. What is people who are hanging around talking about coming to rescue Nigeria? Which Nigeria? If Peter Obi could not rescue Anambra, he's talking about rescue 36 states and Abuja. All these other people, I don't want to mention their names. They came, they saw, they didn't conquer, even in their states. I think you are a journalist, and you also have to ask questions. I know what the federal government is doing, and you should also be interested in what is taking place in the sub-nationalities as well. All we want to say, and rightly and correctly too, is that we are on the right track. We are being celebrated because we are doing the right thing under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The signs are already there that we're coming up. We're coming up, and strong and solid.
That was the Secretary to the Federal Government of Nigeria, George Akume, former governor of Benue State, whose performance as governor of Benue State was anything but salutary, taking a job on Mr. Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, saying that Peter Obi, that could not rescue Anambra State, is coming to rescue Nigeria. Say, how can he do it when he couldn't rescue Anambra, and he's coming to rescue Nigeria? And you can see how he dismissed other presidential aspirants, saying they don't matter. But as far as he's concerned, Peter Obi is the main contender in the opposition. And he said that Peter Obi failed to rescue Anambra State. And the Secretary to the Federal Government lied, because Peter Obi indeed rescued Anambra State. And there are clear indications that he could rescue Nigeria. Why did I say this? Facts and numbers don't lie. Before Peter Obi became governor of Anambra State, Anambra was under the firm grip of godfatherism. Ifeanyi Uba used to boast that he is the one that put governors in that state. He boasts and they boast how they put Mbadunuju, how they replace him with Ngige and all that. But it was Peter Obi who brought to an end godfatherism in Anambra State. Today nobody talks about godfathers. The godfathers are dead in Anambra. They are dead and buried because of Peter Obi. So Peter Obi rescued Anambra State from godfatherism. And that is how he's going to rescue Nigeria from godfatherism. The kind of godfatherism that is championed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that resulted even to the imposition of illegal state of emergency in Rivers State, as far as Nigerian Bar Association we are concerned. Because what happened in Rivers State was actually the battle of the godfathers to institute themselves in Rivers State through the instrumentality and the enablement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is the kind of things that Peter Obi will help this country to get rid of. Godfatherism, whether at the federal level or at the state level. Because godfatherism never favors any society, any democracy in Nigeria. And you know that Tinubu himself is the poster face of godfatherism in Nigeria and the damage that godfatherism can do. And he has helped Wike to institute godfatherism by fire by force in Rivers State, that led to what Nigerian Bar Association called an illegal state of emergency, in which he removed duly elected governor and his deputy, including the State House of Assembly. That kind of rascality is the kind of rascality that Peter Obi will rescue Nigeria from. The way he rescued Nigeria, he rescued Anambra from godfatherism. That is what he's going to do next time, when he becomes the president of Nigeria. So the idea that he couldn't rescue Anambra, for him to be able to save Anambra from the firm grip of the godfathers, is an indication that indeed his stay as governor was not a waste. Today nobody talks about the godfathers. Whether they exist in Anambra, nobody knows about them again. They no longer determine who becomes what in Anambra. And that is why today in Anambra, after Peter Obi, you had Obiano as governor, now you are having Soludo. None of them could claim that they are answerable to any godfather. And that is the kind of thing we want at the national level. The influence of the godfathers should be reduced and be eliminated. And for a state to be rescued from the godfathers, that is a good thing. Even Judge Akume himself should be able to understand. It had been said that he is the godfather of Alia, the present governor of Benue State. How market is Alia not revolting? Because godfatherism is never a good thing. It is never a good thing for any state, for any country. And that is one of the rescue missions that Peter Obi executed in Anambra State. He put to an end godfatherism. Then let us look at another very important issue. When he became governor of Anambra State was hugely indebted, like Nigeria today. Anambra State was hugely indebted, like Nigeria today. And what did Peter Obi do? He rescued Anambra State from indebtedness, that by the time he was leaving office, Debt Management Office rated Anambra as the least indebted state in Nigeria. So much was achieved without borrowing to be able to accomplish those things. And that is what he will also do to Nigeria as president of this country. The way he rescued Anambra from indebtedness is how he's going to rescue Nigeria from indebtedness and debt overhang that Buhari and Tinubu has put onto this country. He will do it. Now, for example, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu became president on May 29, 2023, Nigeria's total debt was 87.38 trillion naira, the total debt of Nigeria. That was what Tinubu met on ground. Today, the total debt of Nigeria under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is 149.3 trillion naira, reflecting a net increase of 62 trillion naira in just 2 years. Nigeria is now headed back to debt overhang the kind of indebtedness that Obasanjo administration rescued Nigeria from. That is where we are headed. And as we are entering 2027, Nigeria need a leader that, like Peter Obi, to come and stop this reckless borrowing that want to take us back to Egypt, where Obasanjo rescued us from when he became president. That by the time he was leaving, Nigeria was in a better shape to be able to move to the next level of development, of becoming a middle income country, to be rubbing shoulders with India, China, South Africa, Indonesia, Philippines, and others. But these were halted by the emergence of the APC, who has come up with borrowing as the only strategy to develop the country. And what a mess they have made of the country, because they are not even borrowing to develop the country. They are borrowing in such a manner that doesn't contribute anything to the development of the country. So that rescue mission of Peter Obi, where he rescued Anambra from being one of the most indebted states before he became governor, and by the time he was leaving, Anambra was the least indebted state in Nigeria. That is a rescue mission, and that was a rescue mission in Anambra. And that kind of rescue mission is needed right now in Nigeria at the federal level. Okay? So look at what he also rescued Anambra from: the collapse of education. Today, education in Nigeria is in a collapsed state, poorly funded, in fact, neglected. Nigerian teachers are among the least paid. The education sector is in dire strait. But look at what happened in Anambra. When Peter Obi became governor, before he became governor, Anambra was around 26th position in WAEC and NECO. Education was in shambles. Teachers were on strike for years. Nothing was working. The infrastructure of education was at its lowest ebb. This was Anambra State that produced for us Chinua Achebe, that produced for us Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, that produced for us all the top learners, intellectuals, including Dr. Chike Obi, the first Nigerian to have PhD in mathematics. But the state of education was destroyed in Anambra before Peter Obi came in, to the level that Anambra will be occupying 26th position in education. What did Peter Obi do? First of all, he identified the problem, that the problem was the poor management of the schools. What did he do? He returned the schools back to the missionaries, who know how better to manage those schools. And he was funding it with the state money, thereby providing them with the enabling liquidity to be able to run the schools directly. Okay? And what else does he do? He makes sure that all the infrastructures needed in the schools were there, that they have boreholes, they have electricity, they have buses. In fact, it's on record that Peter Obi supplied over 700 buses to schools in Anambra State. Peter Obi was the first governor in Nigeria to introduce ICT in public primary and secondary schools. He was the first to do it. Over 30,000 computers were supplied to public schools, unprecedented in Nigeria and West African history. He achieved all that. And what was the result? Anambra moved from number 26 to number 1 in Nigeria. For 3 consecutive years, Anambra was coming first in WAEC, NECO. Who could beat that record? That means he rescued Anambra State in the area of education, which is very necessary if you want to improve the life of the people, you must educate them first. Education is key to development. Are we going to talk about how Peter Obi emerged as the best governor in Nigeria in the implementation of Millennium Development Goals, which was the MDG, the same MDGs that China used to rescue over 100 million people out of poverty in China. And today, whether you like it or not, Anambra State has the least poverty level in Nigeria. And that's the work that Peter Obi did. He rescued Anambra from poverty, and he can also do the same thing at national level. Okay, this is where I have to stop in giving a few examples, because I don't want this video to be too long. Let me stop here. If the secretary to the federal government is not yet satisfied, we can give him more. But it's just a few examples to show him that Peter Obi indeed rescued Anambra from the challenges he met, and that he can do the same thing for Nigeria. Therefore, the secretary to the federal government lied that Peter Obi was not able to rescue Anambra, because Peter Obi indeed rescued Anambra. In just these few examples I give, there are so much to give you, but this is the few I can give to the secretary to the federal government on how Peter Obi rescued Anambra, and he can do the same thing at the national level. I don't know what you think about these few points that have been given to the secretary to the federal government to remind him that he lied, that Peter Obi couldn't rescue Anambra, therefore he cannot rescue Nigeria. No, secretary to the federal government, you lied. Peter Obi rescued Anambra. Far, far more better than what Tinubu is doing right now, and he can do better than Tinubu. And of course, we are not talking about George Akume and his Benue State. That's a story for another day. But whatever is your position on secretary to the federal government saying that Peter Obi failed to rescue Anambra, and he's saying that he's coming to rescue Nigeria, let us hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you, and please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.